General Caine does not get away from criticism for what the Department of Defense has done because it's up to him to stand up for his soldiers and particularly with particular emphasis on those who've given their all to serve this country. The Department of Defense and the Pentagon have reduced the number of killed in the war with Iran from 18 to 14 under the theory that the last four were killed after a ceasefire had been declared by Trump, notwithstanding the fact there's been no meaningful ceasefire this whole time. Caine deserves as much criticism as anybody for having those soldiers' names removed from that list because he should be the soldiers' general. He should stand up for them, but he's not. He's keeping his mouth shut and he's lying about the war. He deserves as much blame as anybody else for what's going on, in my view. We should also note that Hegseth said that in his testimony the other day in front of the Senate that China and Russia are both helping Iran. Trump disputes that and says, well, he was a good friend with these people and they said they wouldn't do it. That's contrary to all the evidence that everybody has about weapons coming from Russia and China and information coming from Russia and China to Iran to attack American forces. This guy is putting American forces at risk. He's happy to have them killed because until they reach the numbers that we had in Vietnam, Korea, World War II, he thinks it's showing some restraint on his part. It is beyond disgusting that this is the way he treats people's lives. Put his sons up on the front lines and see how he likes it then if they're shot to pieces and shot at. These are sons, daughters, husbands, wives, cousins, brothers, sisters. They have names. They should have lives, but this fool has sent them on a fool's errand against all known intelligence. Meanwhile, Ben Shapiro, the conservative big mouth, says he knows there are casualties that would come about, but he's willing to sacrifice those. Well, Ben, why don't you go to the front lines? Why don't you become a war correspondent? Because you think this is so goddamn good, and you think it's so important. Why don't you lead by example? Go there to the front lines and see what the troops are going through, and you come back if you do come back and tell us what it was like, because it is easy to put somebody else's life at risk. Meanwhile, Trump and these morons have nothing to say in defense of anything except, well, Joe Biden did it or President Obama did it. Trump said that President Obama subpoenaed New York Times reporters and it wasn't criticized for it. Prove it. Somebody should say to him, when, where, how was that done? On what basis do you make that statement? I think when Trump says to somebody, that's a really stupid question, I'd like to hear a reporter said to him back, well, you've given a really stupid answer, so we'd like to have more information on that. He's a person. He might be president. That's his job. But if he's going to lie to us, if he's going to provide false information, he doesn't deserve any more respect than anybody else. And if somebody else did this to you, you'd look them in the face and say, prove it to me, you asshole.